Welcome back. Welcome back to the League of Hustlers. You already know what it is. This is a motivational podcast helping you create, master, and maintain multiple sources of income. I'm your co-host, HT.
Yep, I'm CD Barnes.
And today we are going to be talking about why the gap is why you've been losing. All right. And we're going to talk about how to bridge that gap. And this is part 3 of our Dream Stream Strategy series. All right. Really monumental, really educational, life-changing stuff. Okay. And if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, make sure you go back and watch those. All right. Really informational stuff, really game-changing stuff. The whole point of the Dream Stream Strategy is to teach you how to create, maintain, and master multiple streams of income. All right. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to bridge the gap, right? A lot of people don't understand that the gap is why they've been losing. The gap, all right, is what's separating you from where you're trying to go. All right.
All right.
And let me share my screen real quick. We're just going to hop right into it. All right. So boom, bridging the gap. Bridging the gap. It's taking a minute to come up. You want to add anything to that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it is, exactly that, man. There, you just have to understand off top that there is a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. There's a gap there. There's a difference. All right. So like H was just saying, this is part 3 of the Dream Stream Strategy. All right. So in part 1, we talked about where we want it to be. And part 2, we talked about where we are now. All right. In this section right here, bridging the gap, it's all about understanding and defining that gap, understanding the difference between, where we said we want to go and where we are now. What's the difference? For some of us, that difference may be, a $1,000, a month difference. For some of us, there may be a $10,000 a month difference. For some, it may be a $50,000 a month difference. But whatever that is, this is the moment where we need to define that, because it gives us the ability to choose our opportunities going forward. It helps define our actions. For example, if we're planning on going to Fiji, we know a car will not be the appropriate vehicle. We can't get there by car alone. So that's, really what bridging the gap is all about, is just defining the difference so that you can make a very specific, a very informed decision about how you're going to achieve the goal that we laid out in step 1.
Yeah, man.
Simple as that,
Yeah, and to back up a little bit. So step 1, so the overall Dream Stream Strategy consists of visualizing success, right? Taking account, bridging the gap, which is what we're going to talk about today. Selecting your opportunity, plan, plot, and strategize, execute, simplify, and systemize, maintain and optimize, allocating your resources, and then realizing success, right? And this is a workbook that we're putting together that covers each and every one of these very critical steps that are critical to creating, mastering, and maintaining multiple sources of income. First episode, we talked about visualizing success, right? Go back into the playlist and watch that video. Second episode, part 2, we talked about taking account or taking accountability, right? Go back and watch that. Make sure you subscribe, okay? But today, like CD was saying, we're talking about bridging the gap, bridging the gap. Part of that is getting a firm understanding of what you lack right now, okay? You know where you want to go. That's what we talked about in visualizing success. Right? We know where we want to go. Okay. Now you have to realize where you are. That's what we talked about with taking accountability of where you are and understanding that where you are right now is the reason why you are where you are right now. Okay. Or the things that you've done up to this point is the reason why you are where you are right now. Right. So taking accountability and also taking account of the skills you have, right? The resources that you have, the network that you have, taking account of all of the things that you have right in your face in order to do what? To bridge the gap. All right. All of this is in an effort to bridge the gap. Okay. And by knowing this difference, this is where we get power from, right? It's empowering to know, like, all right, I'm trying to get to point A, but I'm at this point, or I'm trying to get to point B, but I'm at point A, right? So now you know that the difference that needs to be made up, okay? But it's going to be up to you to make that decision, right? It's going to be up to you to make that decision to work effortlessly and, efficiently and maybe not effortlessly, but to just put in the work to get to point B. All right, you're at point A, you're trying to get to point B. Okay, so you're at point A and you know what it takes to get to point B, or at least you know what point B looks like, right? So now it's up to you to make up that difference. Okay, and this is going to define your decision making about what opportunity that you choose, which we cover in the next episode. One other point I want to make before I hand it off is, remember, each one of these sections comes with a worksheet, all right, that you can download and fill out. That's the whole point of this strategy. It's like a formula, it's like a system that you can use. Print the whole workbook off, right? And then you can just fill it in and track your progress, right? It's about taking action. Yeah, I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, and so the gap, though, is it could be a lot of different things, for different people. All right. Mm-hmm. So, but this, I love this section because this is where it gives you the opportunity to begin building. All right. You're going to be building the bridge, all right, to get you where you need to go. But in doing that, you need to kind of lay out what materials you're going to need. Am I not getting to point B because I'm lacking some information that I don't have? Am I missing the network? Am I not, communicating enough with people, just like-minded people within my industry? Am I not, what are you missing? So this is, a portion where you can, all this stuff is closely related. It's almost back to taking accountability, because what happens here is you find yourself like, okay, these are the things that I need to improve and expand on in order for me to reach my goal. So there's definitely a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And in between there are all sorts of obstacles and things that you are going to have to overcome. But based on where you are and where you want to go, only you will know what those obstacles are and what those things are. And that's what we're here to help you pull out. We want to help you identify those obstacles, help you to measure the gap, and help you to identify the tools that are going to help you bridge that gap, so we get into the next stage of the Dream Stream strategy. So with that being said, make sure you go to shop.leagueofhustlers.com. That's where we're laying out all of the resources that go along with each section in the workbook. All right, we're going to have sections for each step in this process so that you can kind of brainstorm and identify all this stuff for yourself, because it's different for everybody, right? So, make sure you go to shop.leagueofhustlers.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so that, hey, other people can see this video too. All right. And that's just one way you can support the channel when it costs nothing to do. So thanks in advance for that already. But shop.leagueofhustlers.com, that's where you're going to find these worksheets. And you know, we're going to be bridging these gaps, man, and we're going to reach our goals. We're going to reach these goals. You're going to reach your goals.
That's right. And one other thing is just to understand, just by understanding this step right here, the vast majority of people aren't going to do this. They aren't going to understand the gap even, right? Most people just wander aimlessly through life, right? Not understanding like, yo, in order to get to, you know, this goal that I'm trying to reach, number one, most people don't set goals. Let's be real right there. That's the first issue. Then the second issue is that they don't take accountability, a full account of where they are right now. So you, right, by participating in this kind of stuff, by doing these types of exercises, is going to already put you ahead, vastly ahead of the curve. We're here to help. All right. So stay locked in, man. And that's it for this episode, you know, League of Hustlers, man. Lock in, share, like, subscribe, and get at us. All right. Peace. Hustle up and go and get it.